Viewers, you're welcome once again on Tuhaburane Family Connect. My name is Morep Sinje Katihwa. I'm a midwife, I'm a counselor, I'm a wife, I'm a mother, and I'm passionate about family. That's my bloodline.
So, you're doing a great job.
With me, I have Doreen.
Yeah.
We want to welcome you to our part 2 on the inner enemies that kill our families.
Yeah.
Last time we looked at idolatry, we looked at witchcraft, we looked at ungodliness. And today we are continuing with the with part 2, where we're going to look at poor parenting skills.
Yes.
And when we talk about poor parenting skills, these are behaviors that neglect children's holistic well-being development, which can have negative impact on children emotionally, psychologically, and even physically and socially, and lead to low esteem, poor development skills, poor relationship in the future, and even in their development, and so many other things. So under this point, Doreen, I want us to look at, there are some specific things I don't want us to forget.
Yes.
Because parents, children don't raise themselves. Us as parents, we are the ones who are raising them.
Yes.
We are raising them, directing them in a future where we have been.
Yes. Yes.
Projecting them into a future. So we are supposed to impact these children with the skills or holistically, which can help them to thrive in life. But the reverse, at times we find that we have parents who have not cut out to be good models. We have seen parents who take sides.
Yeah.
We have seen parents who show favoritism to children, who compare children. We have seen parents who abuse children psychologically, emotionally, and socially. We have seen parents who subject the children to their own failures and project their own failures onto children, and so many other things.
Abusing children. Will you ever turn out into something?
Yes.
You're stupid. You're very foolish. What? Please stop saying those things to your children, because they take them to heart and they're like, Daddy said I'm foolish, so I would rather do foolish things.
Yes.
Like the ones which foolish people do. So the things we tell our children, let's speak life into the lives of our children.
Yes.
Even if your child is behaving badly, speak life.
Yes.
Speak good things. Speak the things you want to see in your child. If your child is being naughty, start calling them a calm child. Hey, you're so calm, you're so kind. If your child doesn't want to share, I always tell my daughter, I'm like, oh wow, you love sharing. And then you find them as time, they start sharing.
Because you are confessing it into their lives. So, and that is very true, because one of the things that we are struggling with in this generation is identity. Identity crisis, low esteem, lack of value, and worth, and worth.
And all that is modeled by us, the parents, like you said.
Yes, because a child, we tell you that a family is like a nursery bed. When you plant your seeds in that nursery bed, you make sure that you protect them against the weeds. You make sure there is enough fertilizers. The soil is enough. You protect them watered. You protect them against the sun. That's why you see most people, when they are doing a nursery bed, they put grass, so that the sun is not too much and is also not too little. It should be modulated to make sure that the crops grow properly. So even us as parents, children are raised. Children are not like plants which grow.
Weeds.
Children are raised. And when we talk about raising children, that means intentionality. You must be intentional. These children that you're raising, what plan do you have for them? What vision do you have? When you give birth to a child, how are you seeing them 10 years from now? Do you have a vision about them? So most of these things we talk about, parents have abused children emotionally.
Yeah.
Telling them, what will you ever become? Even your brother is better than you. For you are the one who is always last in class. You are always breaking glasses. Are you stupid? Are you what? I mean, I hear parents at times complaining about children that they abuse people. But these children learn those abuses from
They
us.
learn from us, from home.
There is no child who comes from the womb and starts saying stupid. No,
Yeah,
they
they
learn
learn
from
it.
the environment. So if you are a parent who is talking on phone and you're abusing, hey, have you seen it? If you want to see how you behave, give your child a phone. They go there and start calling. Then that is when you will know. You stupid. Hey, why did you take my? Oh, so they modulate exactly what you are.
What you're doing.
What you're doing. That's why we say the children, they say that they are monkey see,
Monkey
monkey do.
do, yeah.
What they see us do. If there is conflict at home, father and mothers are always fighting, they are always abusing each other, they will also take up those things. They grow up knowing that a husband
That
and
is how
wife,
it's supposed
they
to
abuse
be.
each other. They
Yeah.
beat. They. So parents, we have to be very intentional.
Yeah.
I know raising children is very hard, and there's no one who has a perfect map or a guideline or who is perfect at it. We learn on job. There's no school even which teaches parenting. We learn on job. So let's be intentional how we speak to our children.
Yeah.
Or the things we say. At times parents even gossip about their
Yeah.
children. You find I'm a parent, I have my daughter, I'm gossiping with
About
her
someone
about his brother. What do you think? The child will have that negative attitude about their brother. Even when they have their personal conflict, then they start saying, after all daddy said you did this, after all daddy said you're nothing. The other day my sister was telling me things, many things that happened in our family. Me, I never
You didn't know.
In my childhood, me, I was so naive that things would happen and I would not know. I was like, for you, and yet we were of the same age. But she was telling me, this one did this, this one did this, that they said this. I was like, you,
Where did you get all those
I don't,
things
this
from?
girl really amazes me.
Uh,
But she knows every detail of everything that has ever happened in our family, whoever, or I'm like, for you. Look, but one thing about her, she was too social. She,
Akabaru.
but me, I was very reserved. In fact, people, when they see me here that I speak a lot, I wish you can ask people who grew up with me. I was too quiet, too naive, too reserved, and because I was struggling with low esteem. So, but what I was bringing that example, saying that when you are gossip
Yeah.
about ninga kugambura omwana wawe, hat the other person picks a negative image, and they also start seeing them in that low image person.
Not speaking about gossip, even when you are gossiping with your friends about another friend,
Yes.
and your daughter is seeing that you're gossiping, then they will think that it's okay.
One person, sorry
okay
to
to
interrupt
gossip.
you, a daughter tells us how a child embarrassed them. That like now kuku agamba that parents were gossiping about, the man was gossiping with his wife about their workmate.
Uh-huh. Oh my
Telling
God,
the wife how
I
this,
can already see where
I
it's
know
going.
where this how when viene vyar kukora everything that this workmate does. So one time this workmate comes home
To visit.
to visit. So the daughter is like, Daddy. So they introduce her. This is like you said. This is
Betty from my workplace.
So the daughter is like, hey, Daddy, this is the Betty that you told us who does this and this. The man
Oh
said
my God.
that I almost asked the ground to open and
And
swallow
swallow,
me.
yeah.
So us as parents,
My
we must be
God.
very intentional.
We have to.
Must put our antennas up and know that everything we are doing, these children are watching. Everything we are saying, they are hearing. Everything we are, the way we are acting, the way we dress, the way we eat, the way we even watch TV and go on phone. Now you hear children saying, Mommy is always on TikTok. Our dad is always busy on TikTok. They see us.
They see us.
They know
And
if
that's
you
what we are teaching them.
if you don't pray, they know. If you want to know yourself, ask
the
your
children.
If you want to do a personal evaluation, ask your children. So as parents, we need to be very intentional.
And another thing, adding about comparison, a lady who was 34 years old was sharing a story of how when they were growing up, I think they were in high school, like in O level, the mother used to compare her with a neighbor,
I know.
a child, a
And the neighbor's child.
Yeah, the neighbor's child. the mother used to
Can't
compare.
you be like
Can't you
her?
be like that? And sometimes it was not like, can't you be like her? It was to come and tell her, by the way, can you imagine Lynette got 4 in 4? And like just telling her of like, figure out your life.
I know.
Every time coming to tell. So the lady was saying, sometimes I go and see, I want to see where this person is, because I was
She was the
compared.
yardstick.
Yes, she was. Then cousins, comparing our children to their cousins.
This one has
Just
wedded,
yes.
this one has got a new job, this one has a nice car. Every child has their plan. Every child, they have the way they have been cut. And their personalities are different, their love language is different,
That's
the
true.
way they operate,
It's
the way they
different.
reason, the way they do things, the talents God has given our
They're
children
different.
are different. So as parents, it is very important for us to know that our children are different, and let's handle our children individually.
Yeah.
You might be having 10 children, but every child is different.
different, yeah.
So when you're handling them, you handle them differently.
There's another thing that I want to, slot in there. The fact that some of the things that we do as parents, we probably went through them when we
Yes.
were growing up. So it's important to take off time, like we've said, be intentional. Ask yourself, why am I always rude to my children? Why am I always shouting at my children? Why am I always abusing my children? When you look back, you realize that those are the things that your parents did when you're growing up, and you didn't like
The
it.
traumas.
That trauma, you have
The
trauma,
inside
childhood
trauma.
traumas. Yeah, you need to talk to a counselor. Molly is a
Yes.
counselor,
Yes,
and
come.
address all those issues so that you can not pass on the wound that your mother or your grandmother passed on the wound to your mother. Your mother passed it on to you. Now you're passing it on to your daughters. That is not good. So
Yes.
as you watch this video and you're like, that is me, that is me, that is me, please go and address those childhood traumas that you could have gone through. Ask yourself. I remember at the beginning of 2023, I sat down and I was like, but why am I like this? Why do I do this? Like, why can't I be like other people? Like, okay, I don't want to mention specifics, but I went to God and was like, please, God,
Help me.
show me these things. Where are they coming from? Why are they happening to me? And God, you ask God anything, He will really show you.
I know.
He put like a mirror in front of me and told me, Doreen, you're like this because of this. You do this because of this. You do. So I have been on a journey of being better.
Self-development.
Yeah, developing myself, asking myself, why do I behave like this with my children? Why do I shout at my children? Why do I
Find yourself, you're moody.
Yeah.
And you have people who say, me, that's
That's
how
how
I
I
am.
am.
No, there's no one who's like that. Each one of us, that is why
Yeah.
we grow. I always tell people that when we from child we were born,
Yeah.
but we did not remain babies.
Yeah,
So the fact that we did not remain babies, it means we have potential of growing, not only physically, but also
Yes.
every part of our lives. So you
That's
cannot
true.
say, me, that's how I am. At home, they even know me. You know, our pastors tell us that there are those guys who even touch here on the west and say, even me, my mother knows that I can abuse a whole village. Na mama kandeka, even my mother left me. So who do you
Gave
think
up
you
on
are?
me.
Yes. So ladies and gentlemen,
Yeah.
there is room for change.
Yeah.
There is room for improvement. There is room for a better you.
Yeah.
And a better you is a better us.
Yes.
When we become better parents, then we get better products of our children, because we will be the children will become what we are and even more. If we are better, they will become the better version of us and even more.
more,
If we are worse, they will become a better worse vision of us and even more. So
yeah.
at times I see children in society and people blame children. This day I no longer blame children.
It's
I
the
blame where they
parents.
come from.
Yeah.
I blame or ask the parents, because it is us who raised them like that. If you sit a child and teach them values and principles and instill in them things that are social norms, which you know that even when they go from here, they can thrive in society. You know, the children of the other points I wanted to emphasize under poor parenting schemes or skills is parents who are materialistic. Parents who love money. Have you seen parents who favor those, either a boy or a daughter who has money? The child who has money in a home is the one who has a say on everything. To the point that,
That
even
breaks families.
when they are errant, they do funny things just because they have money. My son brings money. My son has bought me a car. My daughter has
even
built
the
me a
in-laws. My son-in-law is
Hey,
rich. My
so
daughter-in-law is
other
rich.
children cease to be children. They
Yeah.
become children, and then that one who has money, who is, or even is a professor, or maybe is he has a good position, is a professor, is a manager, is a CEO. Those titles,
Yeah.
they come. Some parents are blinded by titles. You find you can't even rebuke that child or correct them just because they have money. They are the ones who are sending you monthly upkeep.
Yeah.
So because they send you monthly upkeep, now the rest should be slaves under them.
Yeah, that's not good.
So, and you find other children, they become inferior.
They can't share their ideas,
Yes.
they can't share their views because
Mm.
you've already determined and
nogamba
decided.
chiwe to innocent.
Yeah,
Huh?
or you're innocent and what I
Yeah.
come. Can Nababana, even the children themselves who have money,
Yeah.
they're the ones who come and
They
say,
become pompous.
yeah, if you have money, go and implement your idea.
Yeah.
So even if this one has very nice ideas without money,
Yeah.
now you find that they are not done because
They
this
are
one
not
who has
listened
money,
to.
who has no ideas,
Mm.
that's where
You find that
families
someone
fall.
is driving the whole family, even the father and the mother and the uncles. He has put them in a cocoon.
Driving them to destruction.
What he says is what happened. Well, if he says all of you are going to do carpentry, if you have money, go and pay for yourself any course you want. But
Yeah,
me,
I'm paying for carpentry.
I'm going to build a house of 2 bedrooms. If you can't fit there, go and build. So, ladies and gentlemen, God gives us these positions and money
Yeah,
as it's a season.
yeah, it is.
And God gives us these things to better ourselves and also other people around us and under us, but not to use them as a channel of enslaving people. If you are a brother there, if you are a sister there, if you are an uncle, if you are a father and a mother, and you have money and you have a good position and you have a platform that God has given you, which has made you better, don't use it to enslave others. Don't use it to mistreat people. Don't use it to destroy others. Use it to better others.
Yeah.
There is a man in the Bible who had money, and because he had money, he started doing what he started. He was a servant, and the master had left him, and he had money, so he started giving to people, helping others. So when time came and he lost his position, the neighbors were able to do
He
what?
was helping.
Because he had sowed good seeds.
Yeah.
Because this money that comes to us, these positions, abanyankoni bajangu sente n'omujenyari. Today you have money, tomorrow you will not have. Today you are healthy, tomorrow you will not. Today you have a position, maybe you're working in a company, tomorrow you're traveling all the nations, but tomorrow that good job might be taken away and someone else is hired. And you see, we don't even can't predict what our brothers and sisters will be. It is on sente, tomorrow they will have money.
Yeah.
They might not be having a position today, tomorrow they will have. So let's learn to know that today when you are up, it is your time to lift others.
Yeah.
And then so that and by the way, what we forget is that when you help others, you are helping yourself.
That's true.
What do I mean? Do you know that if you are the only one person who has money on the village, you suffer?
Yes.
Everyone will be coming at your gate.
Yes.
Hey, manya sorti, manya my children.
Yeah.
But if you help other people to be better, that means they will not come to you.
And then
Everyone
you'll
will
be
hey,
better and better.
hey,
and better.
everyone will be having what can sustain them. So most times that's why the enemy lies us. That because you are better, control everyone, let them be your subject, and that subjecting them, you end up also being a slave to them because you will not have peace. You are better put your head down. Hey, here come you had better. You have better gone somewhere to eat your money, like in a good hotel, like here. Then they call you, Manya, this one has fallen down. We need your car. But if everyone is well at home,
Yeah.
then you will not have those conflicts, as envy, jealousy, division,
is
and what. Yeah, I think now let's just tip in some few tips
Yeah.
about how we can better our families.
Yeah, I think one of the tips, the topmost tips, okay, not the topmost, because the first one is pursuing relationships with God.
Yes.
As a family, prayer time, devotionals, praying with your children, teaching them biblical values that they can live by, being kind, being generous, learning how to share, appreciating everyone the way they are,
Supporting.
supporting one another. Your children, you need to tell them they need to be each other's
Keeper.
friend. They need to be each other's best friend. They need to have each other's back.
Yes.
And that, of course, is modeled at home.
Yes.
Yeah.
By how you're doing it.
Yeah, by how you're living your life. And another thing that is close to that is time. I read somewhere that children do not understand anything else as love apart from time. Giving them time.
Yeah.
Playing with them, having that personal time with each one of them. Some people take their kids on dates.
Yes.
You know, you
Yes.
go and you're like, so what is going on? Especially these girls that have been seeing things. Like, you need to take them on a date and ask them, so how is your life? What is going on? Buy them anything they want to eat. And this is not to say that if you don't have money, you can go for a walk with your child. You know, in the forest, you have a nature walk, buy a sweet along the way and eat together and just have that time
And those are the memories they
with the
hold on
kids.
to.
Yes, yeah.
Because like you're saying, even us who are old now, the only things you remember, like now if I ask you, Doreen, what do you remember about your parents? You're like, I remember when we went to, Dad took us here, I remember when Mommy took us. You don't remember the sweet they bought.
No. And that is very true. When you ask me about my childhood memory, my favorite childhood memory is when I used to come from school and my dad and I sit on the balcony and I present my report and he tells me how proud he is of me, how, like, you guys, I used to go to school to work so hard so that I can come back and we sit on the balcony and have that time. Sometimes I think we'd be taking like tea or bushera, something, and we are just in the class. So how was school? How did you perform? I present the report. You know, like that affirmation, that time.
Emotional
Because
support.
my dad was also a busy man, but that time that we would have together.
Yes.
It really
look forward
meant
to it.
my dad provided for me. He bought food, he bought clothes, he bought whatever he can. What I remember is that time that I used to have with him every time I would come from school. Time, you people, is the love language of children.
Yeah.
So if
And
you
you
have
know,
no time,
people always say that my husband always tells me that we need to learn to live in the moment. You see, most time of us that right now, all of people are working night and day so that they can save for the future. I'm building a future for my children. Are you sure those children are going to reach there? The time you have that you can count on. But the Bible says that we are not guaranteed of tomorrow. Right now we are here talking. We don't know if we are going to reach even home. But by God's grace, we just assume. But the only time you have is today. We shall reach there, of course. Doreen is scared. Yeah, but that's why I said that it's by God's grace. We assume by God's grace. But what we are trying to say is today is the only day you have. And remember, these children grow and go. The only time we can count on is today, is now. So when you have time, spend time with your children. And that's what we spend time with your wife. Spend your time with your brothers and sisters. All those things.
And we're not saying that you don't work, but be intentional.
Yes.
Be intentional and say, I work from 9 to 5.
Yes.
After 5, even your bosses should know that I'm going home to spend time with my family. Like, just be intentional about it. And create boundaries.
Yes.
You know, if you show your boss that you can work up to 10 p.m.,
they will use
you.
Why not?
They will use you. They will make you work up to 10 p.m.
Who doesn't want such an employee?
Yeah, but if you tell them, sometimes you may have to lose some money
Yes.
for you to spend time with your family.
That's true.
Because those are the people you're working hard for. Like Molly has said, if you work hard for people and then by the time you finish working hard and bringing the money, there is no one. Probably the kids have been sexually abused, they have been physically abused, they are so damaged, some are in alcoholism, some are into drugs. Just because you're not there, that money will not even save them from some of the things that the kids could, put themselves into. So find a balance. Work for the kids to give them a good life, but also find time to be with your family.
Yeah, so ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you for tuning into Tuhaburan, because there are many channels you would have chosen, but the fact that you have chosen to tune to Tuhaburan Family Connect, we appreciate you. And we keep encouraging you, keep following us, sharing us, tell your friends about us. We are here to build families. If you are there struggling with family, you don't know where to start from, you don't know what to do, come. That's why we put on this platform. So we hope you are enjoying our episodes, and we are coming with even more. We are going to be here talking about these segments until I want to leave you with this quote, which says that families are made in hearts. The only time families become void is when those ties in the hearts are cut.
Interesting quote. It really summarizes everything. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.